Is Morocco safe for solo female travellers? The North African country of Morocco is known for its rich culture, Mediterranean coast and glorious desert. But media outlets often claim that the nation is not safe, especially for solo female travellers. But I'm an experienced solo female traveller who's travelled all over the world alone. So I wanted to see what 24 hours as a solo female in Morocco was really like. And you won't believe what I discovered.
So I am in the city of Tangier. I literally just got a ferry here. I travelled from London to Morocco without flying to see how quickly I could do it. Did it in 32.5 hours, so my video of that will already be up if you want to check that out. So I think tonight I'm just gonna head out and get some food. I found somewhere, it's actually a Syrian place, but Syrian food is so good. So I'm gonna grab some food, have a little walk around and just get a feel of the vibe of the place. I am staying in a pretty nice hotel. It's a very nice hotel actually. It is a riad. I've got my own hammam. I'm going to do a whole other video about this, so stay tuned for that because yeah, there's a lot to show you. Right now, I'm going to go out, get some food and just get a vibe of Tangier. Oh my goodness me, that was incredible. That was Syrian, it was a Syrian restaurant and Syrian food is amazing. Oh, so good. Falafel, really creamy hummus. Oh, so good. I'll put all of my recommendations for everything in the description. So if you are planning a trip to Tangier specifically, then you can just look at those for all my tips. Safety wise, fine. Like I didn't get any hassle or anything, just walking around. Lots of people are walking around, different groups like men, women, tourists, locals, and there was no attention really at all. I'll pick this video back up in the morning, so I've got all day tomorrow. Got to leave the airport about 8, so I've got plenty of time to explore Tangier, relay all my thoughts about it. Good morning. So I'm just about to head down for breakfast, or I should say up for breakfast as it's on the rooftop, and I said this in my other video, I had an absolute mare. I thought I'd brought 3 tops with me. I only brought 2 and then I left one on the bus. So now I have to wear this top for literally like 3.5 days straight, which is quite gross, but also it is very like loose fitting. So hopefully it doesn't smell too bad. Then I'm wearing shorts right now to go to breakfast. I will put my trousers on later because while I'm in Muslim majority countries, I do try and cover my knees, but just around the hotel, it's usually fine. I could literally sit on this rooftop all day. It's such a nice spot for working, for reading, but I do need to go out and see a bit more of Tangier. So I've literally just been catching up with some emails that I hadn't got back to you so far. Did a little bit on Instagram, I did a reel, and now I'm going to get out and see a bit of Tangier. Tangier feels like a very international city. It's really interesting. Obviously Arabic is the main language. Arabic is the main language of Morocco, but most Moroccan people do speak French because it was a French colony for a long time. I think when I'm travelling around here a bit more in November, I might have to speak a bit more French, which is going to be interesting because my A-level French is a bit rusty. But also obviously there's a lot of Spanish here because we are so close to Spain. Like I've heard a lot of Spanish being spoken in the streets, and a lot of people do speak English as well, but it does feel very international. I'm also a bit lost already. Like all North African cities with like a Medina or a Casbah, it is very like weaving, quite difficult to find everywhere. So I think I should have stuck to the main road, whereas I've gone sort of down a side road. But it's very chill. I've not had anyone say anything untoward to me yet. No sort of extra attention or anything. In fact, everyone seems to be being very helpful. So the plan always was today to have a lie-in, catch up on some work, have a leisurely breakfast, and then go out and about exploring in the afternoon, early evening. So it is now about 2 p.m. and it is still rather warm. It says it's only 27 degrees, but it does feel a lot warmer. So I think I am going to go inside for an hour or so to check out the Ibn Battuta Museum. So Ibn Battuta was a Moroccan explorer, and I actually didn't know he was Moroccan until very recently. But I have a memory of when I was young, my dad used to live in Dubai, and we always used to go to the Ibn Battuta Mall. It had different areas of different like places he travelled to. So I think there was a China section, there was an Egypt section, and it really inspired me to travel. Like, it was one of the earliest memories I've got of like looking around and being like, wow, it would be cool to visit all of these places. So I guess in that way he's kind of a role model of mine. So I'm going to check out this museum and learn a bit more about him. I don't know much about him other than he travelled to a lot of places. Okay, found it. I literally walked past this yesterday when I was walking here, but I was quite hot and bothered by that point. I'm actually right next to my hotel, but I'm going up to a cafe which is renowned as potentially the best in Tangier, dating back to the 1920s. It's only a 10-minute walk, but apparently it is uphill the last bit and it is very warm. I may live to regret this, but at least I will be able to sit down and relax at the top. I've just stumbled upon these Phoenician tombs. So these date back 3,000 years and they're still here and they're still very well defined, and they were where Phoenician people, so Phoenicians were seafaring people who came from Lebanon originally, were buried. But it's in the most arresting location. So there's views just straight over the Strait of Gibraltar, and then in the distance you can see Spain, where I was yesterday, which is just so surreal. And oh my goodness me, the Mediterranean Sea looks incredible. Like, it looks completely clear and I can just see the rocks sort of underneath. So I've arrived at the cafe. I'm not 100% sure what the deal is. I've just taken a seat and I think it's table service. It is huge. There's loads and loads of people here and I am sitting right in the sun, as you can probably see right now. But all of the seats in the shade are taken, so I don't know whether to just sit here for a bit and kind of see if someone rocks up or to go and ask. But it seems like it's a really cool place. It's got incredible views over the sea and it seems very, very popular with locals. I didn't know Tangier was so touristy, but you can apparently do an open top bus here. I have left Cafe Hafa without having anything, just because it was very, very hot. There was no shade, and then I was having a little look at the Google reviews and people were saying like, nice place, beautiful views, but takes you like an hour to have a drink because it's A, busy, and B, takes people a while to get around all the tables. So I've decided not to do that today, but there is a cafe just across here that I might sit down and have a cold drink in actually before I head off to my next stop. This seems to be called Cafe Hanafda. Let's go check it out. Accidentally bought sparkling water, which I'm very sad about. I don't know why people drink this. It just makes me burp. Anyway, I'm gonna drink it because I do need to be hydrated. It's the same for hydration, right? But it's not good. I'm in the Menia Garden now, which is a nice grassy garden area. There's like a kids play park. Lots of locals seem to be here chilling out. I feel so safe here. I've had zero hassle, zero catcalling. A few people have, you know, asked me for money or whatnot, but that's not uncommon in many places in the world. I just feel really, really safe. I think Morocco maybe has a bit of a reputation because of, I'm guessing, the Marrakesh souk and the souks of the bigger cities, which have lots of tourist stalls. And I think people then can get, you know, a bit of chat because people are trying to sell stuff, I guess. And obviously, like, in crowded spaces, it's important to be careful of your valuables, just as it is in London, though. But Tangier, I mean, it's not as touristy as some places. It's still touristy. There's still tourists here, especially as it's so close to Spain. I don't know, it doesn't seem to have that kind of hustle about it. Last night, I went to the Syrian restaurant, and the guy there let me off 5 dirhams because I only came to 105 dirhams in total and I only had 100, and he let me off, and it was only a small amount of money, but I felt a bit bad. I didn't want to shortchange him, so now I've got 5 dirhams. I went back into the restaurant just then and asked him if he'd like it back, and he was like, no, of course not. And I was like, are you sure? Yeah, like, it is only a small amount of money, but you know, it was the price. I wanted to pay the correct price. He wouldn't take it from me, and just that seems to be the essence here. Like, People just seem to be super nice, super friendly, and it's just chill. I've found somewhere else to go for an early dinner, and then I still don't feel like I've properly walked around the actual Casbah, so I'm going to do that as well. Let's head to Grand Rosso. I think there's a market there, and yeah, interesting place to walk around, I'm sure. So I've come down to Grand Rosso, where the Casbah, the old city, meets the new city. So it's a busy roundabout, but there are fountains here, and it is right next to the Mosque Sidi Bouabid, and it's really nice, ornate looking mosque. Very colourful actually, very colourful minaret there. I might have a little walk around the perimeter. I won't go in because I think prayers are fairly soon. Most mosques in the Muslim world you can visit outside of prayer times, but I'm pretty sure there is one around 5, is that right? I'm getting a little bit hungry though, so I think I might head back to the restaurant I found and see if I can grab some food. So the last thing I wanted to do in Tangier was just have a walk through the Casbah. This is really interesting. So this is the old city. It's very similar to other old cities in North Africa. But what is really interesting, I found, is how quickly it transitions from kind of touristy, a little bit commercial, to proper like authentic. So on Google Maps you've got like lots of roads. They sort of end and then these green lines start, which indicate kind of laneway. And when you get to the green laneways, it gets suddenly a lot more residential, very authentic. There are a few businesses, like there's a barber shop just behind me, but generally residential, and you've just got the really tall buildings and narrow streets. And again, I do feel safe. I feel very, very, very safe. I'm not going to get my camera out too much. I've been filming on my phone, but that's just not to attract too much attention to myself. Like, that's common sense wherever you are in the world. Anyway, I think this part of the Casbah actually now leads out to basically the seafront, which is where I'm headed. Just came out to sort of where the Casbah leads out through the Bab al-Bahr, and then it leads out towards a beautiful view of the Mediterranean Sea. Felt completely safe. The only minor thing of note is just then a couple of people did ask me like, where are you going? Do you want me to show you? Which you don't want to even mention it really, because they could have just been being nice, but sometimes people do ask you if you need any help, and then once you receive help then they'll ask you for X amount of money. We did kind of experience this when we were in Tunisia, but it wasn't really this at all. He didn't even ask for money, he just took us to his friend's shop. So that can happen, but equally I don't want to just presume people are like that, because a lot of people are just nice. I was just walking around getting a bit lost deliberately, to be honest, so I said no, I'm fine. But that is literally all there is of no. I've had 0 catcalling, like nil, none. You know, I felt more in danger of that in London. I'm off to the airport now. I was going to film an outro on the rooftop, but I ran out of time and my taxi is downstairs waiting. I had a great day in Tangier. It was really, really nice. There's not a crazy amount of attractions in the city, but I definitely got a good feel for it as I walked around. And yeah, I'd recommend anyone visit Tangier, and I felt completely safe there. I can't talk for all the cities in Morocco, and obviously I'm only going by my experience of one day, but I know it is always helpful to have spoken to someone who's been somewhere. I'm going to record another video about this flight because I may have made a bit of a mistake. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!